Hello and welcome back to Serious Sam Part 7. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have enough time to actually read the intro briefing for this, but it's not really all that important. All you really need to know from the briefing is, like it says, we only have access to the coach gun right now, specifically because we dumped all of our ammo while we were walking through the desert. Yeah, we had to walk through the desert to get from the Valley of the Kings to Thebes.
We're going to Thebes!
And we're almost at Thebes, actually. Thebes is just out there in the distance.
See, these guys are excited for us.
Yes. They are the greeting party.
We're gonna tie one on. No! That was the doorman. That's the valet. That's the bartender.
Dude, you could not tend bar without a head, alright? You just could not do it.
Oh, you could still put a head on.
You could put a head on, I mean, sure, but if your head does not match your body, your patrons are gonna be, you know, very displeased with your service.
But, Gerda, it's not about a head of fear, it's about a pint of beer!
Here we have one of the more bullshit instances of being forced to use the pistols.
I'll say. All right, he's gone to yellow.
Again, the double pistols is actually a pretty decent weapon, all things considered. But when they force you to use it in situations like this, you really dislike the developers for it.
This is actually quite silly.
It is very silly.
It looks to me like that was an insect, and you're firing insect, like, you're basically firing that frontline shit from like 500 feet away. I think frontline is tick repellent. I'm thinking of
Raid?
Raid. Thank you.
Raid's a spray can though.
Raid is a spray can, but you could get some pretty fucking decent distance with that.
Kinda.
With the pistol? Well, that's what I'm saying. You might as well be trying to spray him with Raid. I like the sound of the
I hear
bugs
you,
moving apart.
Arachnoscorp.
Oh, it's Red Scorpion Man. Who looks suspiciously like Deadpool if Deadpool grew a second set of legs.
Second and third. And Coach Gun your face.
Mind you, I was saying Deadpool mostly jokingly, but seeing him up close,
No, he seriously does look like
he
Deadpool.
looks like Deadpool.
Hello, Syrian Werewolf.
Syrian Werebull. They're throwing.
Yeah, yes, they're throwing dudes at us. Now, I'm gonna be honest. The Road to Thebes is actually a pretty interesting concept, although it wastes how open this level really is.
Waste?
This level is actually really goddamn open, but they want to keep you on this path.
Well,
And we're about to get the best weapon in the game.
so we're on the road to the best weapon in the game.
Yes and no. We're still really on the road to Thebes. Just, you know, the best weapon in the game just happens to be on it.
I mean, you can stress the point that this level is too goddamn big, but I kind of like that you can see Thebes from a distance, and all you're doing is just approaching it
I
the whole
love
time.
that too. The thing is, the level doesn't actually do anything with it. This is the uranium cannon. The uranium cannon shoots uranium and lead-lined cannonballs at enemies that explode on contact.
God damn.
Yes, we have a nuclear cannon.
And it even protects itself with lead shielding.
Yes, it protects itself with lead shielding. It's in the lore, believe it or not. There is lore for each of these weapons.
Probably because they're based maybe on actual weapons that militaries have tried. I mean, deplete.
Kinda. I mean, the XLR I don't really think has got any real base, although it functions very much like the Trident rocket launcher from Unreal Tournament. So maybe.
Well, I think depleted uranium shells also have to use some kind of protection. That is, if it wasn't already illegal. But it's dangerous both. It seems to be dangerous both to. It seems to be dangerous both to the people who receive the shots, poor sons of bitches they are, and the people who are actually firing the weapons, because they're exposing their.
Yes, and again, they make that joke in the lore. They do.
What, that the shooters will like poison themselves with radiation?
Yeah.
It's reality, man.
Mind you, Sam Stone is such a badass that he just flat out is immune to uranium-based radiation poisoning.
And suddenly I was reminded of Awesome Center, which was Egoraptor's parody of Trauma Center. It's like, Doctor, my wife has cancer. Zombie cancer!
And then they use lasers.
And then they use lasers. I'd say the game's paying off pretty well. Pretty chummy for me so far, Gerdette. So you only got my favorite enemies in the world.
But you somehow are not annoyed with the kamikaze zombies yet.
Well, it's because I've never suffered the sting of a kamikaze zombie successfully fulfilling on that very famous scream of his. We did it, I guess.
No, there's still more dudes.
This is.
Oh, look, ammo.
This part of the game is too quiet, I say.
This part of the game is too quiet, specifically because this room doesn't have nearly enough stuff in it.
Like, we're later.
Hello, some Syrian warbles.
We're later in the game than we were. Things are supposed to be harder, not easier.
About that. There is only one other difficulty spike in the game left. And we're not going to be there for another 5 parts.
Yeah.
And it's only actually a difficulty spike if you're doing it the wrong way, to be perfectly honest. If you do that particular part of the game correctly, the game from this point on is actually significantly easier than it really has any right to be on normal mode. Well, actually, again, I'm on easy mode because I can't actually get to this point in normal mode.
I don't blame you.
Dude, the running of the clear will always kill me. I don't care.
There's gotta be a way to beat that. There's gotta be some kind of cheese way.
Well, as far as I can tell, the real cheese way to beat that would be using the chain gun as much as you can until you actually get to more ammo. Until you actually get to about halfway through the clear wave. Then you start running backwards and spamming the rocket launcher, because the rocket launcher, although does not one-shot... Actually, I think the rocket launcher does one-shot the clear. So, if you've got enough rockets, you can do that. Thing is, as I've brought up plenty of times before, easy mode really does spoil you, because in comparison to normal mode, not only do you get a health cap of 200 instead of 100 and an armor cap of 200 instead of 100, but all of your ammo drops are doubled. So instead of getting 8 rockets in normal mode, you get 16 rockets per rocket pack in easy mode.
Right. So the question is, do you want to have a challenge? I mean, so the question is, do you want to, just be able to kill lots of shit, or do you really want to struggle through the whole game?
Yeah. And another thing, the ammo caps are halved in normal mode as well. It's the jump of difficulty between easy and normal mode is way too high for me.
Those are some pretty significant differences. Like, especially the ammo cap. The ammo cap would piss me off.
Yeah. Like, for example, right now on normal mode, I would have an ammo cap of like 50 rockets. And 50 rockets is probably more than enough to get you through the running of the clear segment. But it still would not be fun.
Oh no, we're going to the 4 corners, aren't we?
Yes, we are going to all 4 corners. Thankfully, they're closer than they look, but every time you place one of the 4 elements, enemies spawn in. I do recommend using the XLR rocket launcher here. Specifically because the rocket launcher does one-shot a lot of the the smaller to medium size enemies, and it makes relatively quick look of a lot of the larger enemies too. What I'm doing here is exploding the Sphinxes because certain other levels have conditioned me to the point where I'm convinced that all the Sphinxes have stuff in them, even though it's only like 4 Sphinxes in the entire game that have stuff in them.
That's okay. That way you never forget to check the Sphinxes.
Yep. Yeah, see, on easy mode at the very least, the rocket launcher one-shots the clear. I don't think that the health values change, but your ammo values certainly do, and that's honestly...
that's the biggest problem, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm playing...
Alright,
I'm playing World War II, I'm playing Call of Duty World War II, which actually, I'm gonna date the episode. It only came out like 5 days ago, and my buddies and I already beat the Easter egg boss, or one of the 2 Easter egg bosses. I was going to say that extended mags, which basically applies a 1.5 times multiplier to your ammo count across all of your guns, is one of the last unlocks that you get. Just as a matter of magnitude, in order of magnitude, having lots of ammo is the last thing that the game wants you to have.
Yeah, because a lot of level design, specifically around this era, was at least on the higher difficulties, was more around what can we realistically expect you to kill with the resources that we've given you. And in Serious Sam's case on Tourist and Easy mode, the answer is fucking everything.
Yeah.
Because we've just given you so much goddamn ammo. So we literally throw everything at you.
It's a great answer.
It is honestly a pretty good answer. It's for a majority of the playthrough, it's really fun and engaging to go through all these gauntlets of like hundreds or dozens of enemies.
Yeah, you're dodging projectiles. You gotta line up the shots. ABM, always be moving. Shoot the biotech fish alligators. Get more rocket launchers.
And there's more Alderon lizards around.
We're going to Alderon?
Well, it's not Alderon, but it's pronounced very similarly. Or at the very least, it's spelled very similarly.
Well, Alderon is spelled Alderan.
I think the homeland that the four-armed lizards are from actually has an AUN at the end instead. I'm not entirely sure. I honestly don't actually go through the lore logs all that often. I remember doing it, during my first couple of playthroughs with Serious Sam, because there's actually some pretty interesting things you can learn about each of the enemies and the guns that are hidden in the lore logs. More common zombies.
And there's a voice only a mother could love.
I'm pretty sure even their mothers don't love them.
Their mothers are dead. Because they blew them up, too.
Here's one of the things that I actually do with the chain gun more often than I should, honestly. Start revving it up, and... because he was stuck on this thing.